These questions are dirty. Okay, hi, welcome to Ask Caitlin. I'm Caitlin V, a sex and relationship coach, and in this video, I'm going to be answering questions from viewers. If you want to have your questions answered in a future video, make sure that you leave a comment down below because I will be addressing any and all of them as they come in. Question 1. Can you get pregnant from anal sex? No, you cannot. I mean, I guess you could if someone ejaculated in the anus and then it dripped out and then you like flipped back onto your back and it got inside of your vagina. It seems very unlikely from like a physics perspective. So no, the answer is you cannot get pregnant through anal sex. But you could get pregnant by pulling out during anal sex and ejaculating on the vulva or near the entrance of the vagina. So be careful where you ejaculate is the moral of the story. If I am into foot play, can I get fungus in my vagina from a dirty foot? Okay. So technically the fungus that tends to infect feet is different than the fungus that tends to infect a vagina. The truth is, if you're worried that your partner has a fungal infection on their feet, then use a barrier. Get larger condoms that you can actually stretch over the foot. Use a medical exam glove. Create some kind of a barrier. I mean, you could even use saran wrap, non-porous, non-microwavable saran wrap. Microwavable saran wrap has little holes in it, so it starts to defeat the purpose. But if you're worried about that, just create a little barrier and then you can have foot play. And make sure if you're having sex with feet or like introducing feet to your vagina that you're worried about, that they're clean. Even if you're not worried about them, make sure that they're clean. Like soap them, hot water and soap and you should be fairly good. And make sure that they trim their nails because you could end up creating little tears and no one wants that. Can I get pink eye from face sitting? Yes, you can. Is it normal I feel lust for other women and much less so for my girlfriend? So that's a tough question. I imagine that the person who's submitting this question has been in the relationship with their girlfriend for any extended period of time. Now, if you're asking this question and your relationship with your girlfriend is still fairly new, the answer might be that there's something else going on in the relationship that is making you feel less attracted to your partner. So if there's a significant source of stress, if deep inside you know that you're not a good match, but you haven't brought yourself to end the relationship, your body sometimes will actually just shut down your sex drive or your lust for that person because it knows before you even consciously admit what's going on. So if your relationship is really new, I would ask if there's something else going on in the relationship that might be impacting your lust for your partner. Now, if you've been in this relationship for a long time and you're feeling less lust for her, it's not unusual that you would lust for other women. I mean, no matter how long you've been together, we're human beings. We are attracted to other people. There's nothing wrong with that. You will feel lust for other women probably throughout the course of your entire life. And it's not a source of shame. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's just how we operate. It's just a byproduct of being a sexual being. That said, there's some things that you can do to reintroduce lust into a long-term relationship. My first recommendation would be to go out and purchase Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel because it's the book on reintroducing eroticism in long-term relationships. But my favorite recommendation from that book is just that in order to feel attraction to someone, we need to understand that we don't know everything about them. We're attracted to mysteries. We're attracted to things that we don't know. The more familiar we are with something, the less it becomes sexually exciting. It's not a bad thing. It's how long-term relationships really stay together. If you were lusting over each other for the course of your long-term relationship, you would never be able to plan a dinner party or buy a house. These are important things that people have and they want to do. So it's good that we're not just clawing all over each other and we can't keep our hands off each other throughout the course of our relationship. But if you need to reintroduce some spark, do something that reminds you of how much you don't know about each other. At the bare minimum, do some eye gazing. Just staring into each other's eyes can sometimes remind you that there's so much depth and so much beyond just what meets the eye or what your image of your partner is. But on the other extreme, there's vacations, there's trying out new things together. You've never gone zip lining. That's a great source of excitement, kind of a source of mystery, gives you an opportunity to reconnect with your partner in a way that you never have before. So the moral of the story is, in order to reinvigorate your lust for your partner, do things that create more novelty in your sex life. Introduce stuff that is new, different, or interesting. Do you have any suggestions for navigating a relationship with someone who lives with severe depression? This is a great question. I'm glad that you asked. It's a byproduct of being depressed is losing your lust for life, and that includes your desire for sex. And that can be really hard if you're the partner of someone who is depressed and someone who no longer wants to have sex or isn't as interested in sex as they used to be. And so you can do your best by bringing this up, being loving and supportive and tender, but also explaining that you have sexual desires and sexual needs and working with your depressed partner in order to get those met. Figuring out if there's particular days, times, ways that you can plan sex or not plan sex if they are more turned on by spontaneity. You can try to create experiences that bring them out of their depressed state, getting them out of the house, taking them on a date night, but never ever being coercive or forceful, just supporting their progress and just understanding that losing your libido, losing your sex drive can be part of being depressed, and it can also be a side effect of taking medications to treat depression. Last week, I had the sudden realization that I don't like my girlfriend anymore. I'm not sure how to break up with her as I fear I will hurt her a lot. How should I do this? The only way to ever break up with anyone is with intent and respect. You know that for you have to end the relationship. For both of you, really, you have to end the relationship. You say it was a sudden realization, and I would ask yourself, what happened or changed last week that brought about this realization? Is this something that was building for a long time, but suddenly something brought it really to your attention or brought it up to the surface? Or was it something that they did that was just a total deal breaker and you realize that you can't date them anymore? The truth is that if you've realized this now, the most compassionate, the most kind thing that you can do is end the relationship. Don't wait. Don't delay. You'll only end up hurting you both more in the long run if you don't end a relationship that you've realized isn't going to work. So understand that you're going to hurt this person. Acknowledge that. Don't get defensive when that time comes. Offer them support and care. Communicate clearly why the relationship has to end without blaming them or without making it out to be some kind of character flaw that they have. Treat them with the same kind, careness, and compassion that you would want to be treated with yourself. And rip the Band-Aid off. It's unfortunate, but I'm sure that both of you will be better off for it in the end. Thank you so much to the listeners who submitted these questions. Please submit your questions right in the comment below so that I can answer them. I'll be happy to address any questions related to sex, relationships. Bring it on.